I have successfully bound the caregiver system, taming the animal stars of the entertainment industry. On the variety show, I feed the best actor wild vegetables. I train the top-tier celebrities in the art of bondage. I even pamper the rising starlet with gentle tummy rubs, transforming these animal-turned celebrities into obedient companions. With my caregiving skills, I have gone viral across the internet. Netizens collectively exclaim, "I wish to be Sister Song's cub." I reply online, "Form an orderly queue, one at a time." The young master from the capital sways his fluffy tail, visibly shaken. "Weren't you the one who said I was your one and only cub?" One. I am a mere 18-line nobody in the entertainment realm. After 3 years since my debut, I have neither works nor scandals, and my pay is barely worth mentioning. My income hovers just above the line of sustenance. Neither here nor there. Half alive. I am not the least bit anxious about it. After all, I won't starve. Since I lack the fortune to achieve meteoric success, I might as well recline in contentment, embracing my identity as a thorough nobody. My manager, Sister Wu, cannot stand my lackadaisical attitude. She exhausts every resource, begging and pleading, until she finally secures an invitation for me to participate in the most popular outdoor survival variety show. When the contract is laid before me, I find myself in a quandary. Ugh, Sister Wu, outdoor survival and such are the most exhausting. Upon hearing this, Sister Wu erupts in fury, standing up from her chair, hands on her hips, poking my forehead. Song Jie, get it straight. You have no room to be choosy right now. I nod in understanding. All right then, I shall go. Sister Wu breathes a sigh of relief and promptly returns to the sofa. I suspect she has been secretly practicing behind my back. Her speed rivals that of a cheetah. Song Jie, I warn you, this is your last chance for a turnaround. Speak less on the show and work more, do you hear? I open my mouth, about to respond. But Sister Song immediately interrupts me. Silence. This is an order. I do not wish to hear a single no. Fine then. Subsequently, under Sister Wu's urging, I sign the contract. After bidding farewell to Sister Wu, a segment of electronic sound resonates in my mind. Ding dong, caregiver system binding successful. 2. The keeper system. What on earth is this? I am merely an actor, not a keeper. Perhaps sensing my inner protest, the system felt compelled to elucidate. According to its explanation, an increasing number of animals have recently transformed into humans, infiltrating the entertainment industry. To prevent wild animals from succumbing to their primal instincts and causing harm, the keeper's task is to identify these star-studded creatures, tame them, and reform them. I interjected. Taming small animals involves more than just subjugation. It requires love and warmth to truly transform them. Whatever, as long as you can complete the task. What manner of system is this, so nonchalant? I pressed my 2 fingers together, exuding a sense of resignation as I muttered softly. Caring for animals is the most exhausting endeavor. The system paused, then promptly presented the most enticing condition. For each animal star you nurture, you will receive a reward of 10 million. It's not about the money, it's more about my nature. I intended to deflect further, hoping to negotiate. The system cleared its throat. Failing to complete the task in time will result in electric shock punishment and a lifetime devoid of financial fortune. I swiftly altered my stance. Well, you see, I absolutely adore caring for small creatures. The system was taken aback. You don't care about 10 million, yet you are concerned about your financial fortune? Oh, dear system, you know nothing of human nature. I may endure hardship, but my fortune must be maximized. 3. Soon, the day for the variety show to commence arrived. Participants in the program were required to survive for 7 days and nights in the wilderness. For the production team's requirements, we surrendered all electronic devices and communicated through walkie-talkies dispensed by the crew. Additionally, due to the outdoor survival format, the crew canceled the presence of a camera operator, opting instead for 360-degree drone coverage, supplemented by a 24-hour live stream. I surveyed my surroundings, and the other guests were faces I had only dared to dream of. The acclaimed actor Lu Shen, the top-tier star Fu Han, and the popular young actress Bai Tao. The remaining 2 guests, while not as illustrious as the first 3, were still notable third-tier stars, far surpassing my own status as an unnoticed 18-tier actor. With me included, there were 3 men and 3 women, ready to form pairs and venture into the mountains. Given the need to nurture small animals, I first needed to identify my target. Yet, the 5 guests before me all appeared quite human, without a hint of animalistic traits. I called upon the system in my mind. System, which of them is the animal? I have no idea. You'll have to figure it out yourself. How troublesome. Do you possess any special abilities to assist me? The system pondered for a moment and replied earnestly. I can provide you with insights into the characteristics of each animal. Thank you. But I can look it up online myself. But you currently have no phone.
Ugh.
It had caught me there. I resigned myself to my fate. Fine. I'll observe on my own for now. Consequently, the system transmitted the characteristics of the animals most likely to have transformed into humans into my mind. I suddenly felt an invigorating rush of knowledge coursing through me, fueling my enthusiasm for the task ahead. For I widened my eyes, scanning the 5 guests once more. Each one appeared strikingly human, devoid of any discernible traits. After much contemplation, I resolved to approach the most amiable individual first. Taking a deep breath, I stepped forward and awkwardly yet politely smiled at the actor Lu Shen. May I pair up with you? Lu Shen paused, momentarily taken aback, then replied with a casual indifference, sure. The reason for selecting Lu Shen was his well-known reputation for emotional stability and good temper. Even when his co-stars would unexpectedly alter the script, leading to the cancellation of lines he had painstakingly memorized all night, Lu Shen would simply respond with a calm, all right. Furthermore, he was often seen carrying a thermos and was known for his deliberate pace in speech and actions, exhibiting kindness towards newcomers and earning the moniker of the entertainment industry's elder statesman. I was confident that even if I had misjudged, he would not hold my obscurity against me. Thus, I decided to test the waters with him. Although Lu Shen had consented, the audience had a different opinion. With our phones surrendered, we were oblivious to the live chat, where viewers were vociferously criticizing me. Who is this woman? Is she trying to ride on the Yingdi's coattails? Lu Shen is renowned for his politeness. Some tea-sipping vixens should refrain from trying to leech off him. Who is this ugly creature? Hurry and leave. I can't take it anymore. Lu Shen's politeness isn't a reason for you to be shameless. The popular young actress Bai Tao also shot us a disdainful glance, wrinkling her nose in disgust. What's that foul tea scent? 5. This little interlude did not last long. The remaining 4 guests spontaneously grouped by gender, each receiving their tasks before setting off into the mountains. If we delayed any longer, we might not reach the campsite before dark. Lu Shen and I were tasked with foraging for food. Along the way, Lu Shen ambled slowly, marveling at the wonders of nature, completely disregarding the mission at hand. I followed behind him, adopting an even more languid approach. As long as we were unhurried, someone else would inevitably be in a rush. Indeed, the system began to urge me. Host, you chose Lu Shen because you discerned his animal characteristics, did you not? Hold on, I'm contemplating. Could you expedite your thoughts? This is my first time assisting a host in completing a task. So this system is somewhat of a novice? Please articulate your suspicions. I will analyze them for you. No, I think I'll pass. I'm feeling quite tired. The system fell silent. Couldn't he even take a joke?
Fine.
In the end, I would have to rely on myself. I called out to Lu Shen. Lu Yingdi, shall we look for food first? Lu Shen halted, turning to regard me with a puzzled expression. After a moment, clarity washed over his face.
All right.
Then, which way should we go? Anywhere is fine.
Ugh.
I detest indecisive individuals. I extended my finger and pointed in a random direction. How about we go this way? That works. We both agreed and proceeded in the direction I had indicated. Not long after, we stumbled upon a vast expanse of lush wild vegetables. Lu Shen's eyes widened in astonishment. This was the first time I had witnessed such a pronounced expression on his face. Instantly, I understood, and I began to gather a substantial amount of wild greens into my bag. Having completed this task, I turned back just in time to see Lu Shen immersed in the patch, plucking leaves and stuffing them into his mouth, chewing with great enjoyment. No one had ever mentioned that Lu Shen was a vegetarian. Wait a moment, this habit seems eerily familiar. Eating greens, a gentle temperament, emotional stability. Could it be? The answer was becoming increasingly apparent. At that moment, a classic BGM echoed in my mind. There is only one truth. I dashed into the vegetable patch, grasping Lu Shen's hand, nervously stammering. Lu Yingdi, are you a capybara? Lu Shen clasped my hand in return, tears of excitement brimming in his eyes. Sharing a moment of mutual recognition. I am, and you're too, right? I am not. Impossible, your mental state mirrors mine perfectly. You are mistaken. I am a mutable air sign. Immediately, a delightful announcement resonated in my mind. 10 million has been credited to your bank account. 6. My gaze towards Lu Shen brimmed with fervor. He relished the wild vegetables, and I patiently awaited his fill before we moved on. Not only that, But I also packed 2 large bags brimming with greens for him to enjoy. Upon returning to the campsite, Bai Tao looked at the wild vegetables in my hands, her expression instantly souring. This sort of thing, how does one consume it? It's pure, natural, and delicious, I remarked as I seized a handful of wild vegetables and stuffed them into Lu Xin's mouth. He offered no resistance, opening his mouth to chew. Bai Tao's expression darkened, and in exasperation, she muttered, "Have some decency, will you? Is she feeling envious? Why should that concern me? My priority is to cater to my golden card capybara. As long as Lu Xin enjoys it, I could forage every wild vegetable from the mountains." Since we had not discovered any other food, all the guests were compelled to share the wild greens. The trending star, Fu Han, frowned at the contents of his bowl, casually smashing it and striding outside. This sort of thing even dogs wouldn't eat. At just 20, Fu Han was in that rebellious age where he would not tolerate anyone's disdain. His simmering discontent was bound to erupt at any moment. No one dared to provoke him. They could only let him leave. Surprisingly, half an hour later, Fu Han returned, carrying 2 wild chickens and 2 hares. How impressive! All the guests gathered around, excitement gleaming in their eyes. I can already smell the aroma of roasted chicken wings. Fu Han, you can set traps? That's amazing. Fu Han smirked coldly, casually scoffing. Only an idiot needs traps. Everyone was well aware of Fu Han's temperament and dared not engage him in banter. They fell silent, relishing the feast, except for Bai Tao, who pouted in displeasure. Rabbits are so adorable. Why eat them? Fu Han shot her an impatient glance. No one is forcing you to eat. I immediately sensed something amiss. Is it a common skill for an ordinary person to catch wild chickens barehanded? Could Fu Han also possess such abilities? Just as I pondered this, the air became thick with the fragrant aroma of roasted meat, causing my stomach to grumble audibly. I swallowed hard, glancing at the wild vegetables in my hand, which were exceedingly unappetizing. Among the 6 of us present, only Lu Xin was savoring the meal with great enthusiasm. I glared longingly at Fu Han's retreating figure, mentally preparing myself for an extended period before I dared to ask him for a piece of meat. My cowardice prevented me from confronting him. Oh, how I craved it. I'm practically drooling. Fu Han rolled his eyes and tore off a roasted rabbit leg, handing it to me. It was fragrant, glistening with oil, still steaming. It smelled divine. I cast a grateful glance at Fu Han and devoured the roasted rabbit leg with gusto, all the while continuing to pile greens into Lu Xin's bowl. Eat up, have more. Soon, Lu Xin's bowl was heaped into a small mountain. The comments on the stream erupted with amusement, and remarkably, someone began to speak on my behalf. Don't you think that Song Jie feeding vegetables to Lu Yingdi resembles a grandmotherly figure? Don't even mention it. I feel like I need to be nursed, sob, sob, sob. Only a grandmother would worry about you not being full. You're the grandmother. Your whole family is. I'm barely in my 20s. How could I evoke a grandmotherly image? Though I did witness my grandmother feeding pigs when I was young. Raising a capybara should be somewhat akin to nurturing plump little piglets, right? Ensuring they are well fed is certainly the way to go. After dinner, we began to allocate the tents. There were 4 tents in total. No one dared to share a tent with Fu Han, so he took one for himself. Likewise, no one was willing to share with me. Thus, I also had a tent to myself. This was the perfect opportunity to verify whether Fu Han truly could transform into an animal. Once everyone had settled in for the night, I stealthily slipped into Fu Han's tent under the moonlight. Suddenly, a massive figure lunged at me, pinning me onto the mat. I know you've bound a system. With my secret exposed, I feigned ignorance. System? What system? If you wish to tame me, you must comply. Fu Han wasted no time, his icy serpent tail coiling tightly around my waist and abdomen. Today is my mating season. Sister, I desire you. How could this be permissible? When I initially bound the system, there was no mention of this. Although I found Fu Han's looks quite appealing, resolving this predicament was an entirely different matter. In a fluster, I managed to push Fu Han away. His face was cold, yet he appeared pitiful, his tail swaying despondently. His cheeks flushed a deep crimson, his dark green pupils transforming into slits. He inhaled sharply, involuntarily letting out a muffled groan, clearly in extreme discomfort. Sister, please help me, he pleaded, his eyes glistening with unshed tears, a stark contrast to his prior sharp tongue. His beseeching demeanor was impossible to refuse. Remembering how I had savored that delectable rabbit leg thanks to Fu Han, if I were to cruelly utter a no now, could I still consider myself humane? Thus, I resolved to promptly call upon the system. System, assistance required. How does one handle a beast's mating season? Coming. Host, what's the situation? Why do I see nothing but pixelation? Nothing much, I'm fully dressed. Just a tail flailing about, looks like a snake? The system couldn't see me. And my anxiety grew. However, it wasn't long before the system recalled something. Oh, what he just said triggered a keyword, hence the image was forcibly obscured. What should we do? Just to be clear, I won't be resolving any mating season issues. Since the other party was Fu Han, I wouldn't be at a loss. Yet, out here in the wilderness, with cameras filming, one misstep could lead to me being dismembered by Fu Han's fans. Caution was paramount. This was all the program team's fault. Why create an outdoor adventure variety show? An indoor setting would have sufficed, just cover the cameras, close the door, and I could. My thoughts were abruptly interrupted by the system. Host, don't panic. This is my first encounter with such a situation. I'll look into it and return shortly to guide you. Wait a moment. Beep. Useless system. Utterly unreliable.
Ik glansde at for han.
Who was visibly distressed and felt a pang of sympathy. After much hesitation, I finally found the courage to inquire, do you feel an overwhelming energy coursing through you? Begging to be released?
Yes.
It was clear Fu Han was suffering immensely. I gently coaxed him. Is it simply a matter of helping you release that energy? Sister, have you agreed? When Fu Han uttered those words, he inadvertently revealed a pink core. Upon closer inspection, even the tips of his ears were tinged with pink. I nodded. Rising from the ground, grabbing a nearby spherical object, I tossed it towards him.
Fetch.
Fu Han was momentarily taken aback. Sister, you?
Then.
His body moved uncontrollably towards the ball, retrieving it and swiftly returning. What is happening to me? Please don't throw the ball again. Why am I compelled to fetch it? Why can't I control my tail? When I lived in the countryside as a child, there were snake charmers near my grandmother's house. The excited snakes, bursting with energy, would thrash about in their pits. The snake charmer would take the restless little snakes out and play ball with them, stimulating their interest in chasing. If Fu Han were brimming with energy, I could entertain him in a game of fetch all night long. Perhaps our commotion was too loud. After 10 rounds, some guests began to sense something was amiss and gathered to investigate. From the sounds, several people congregated at the entrance. I wasn't sure who had the audacity to unzip the tent. Thankfully, I had locked the door when I entered. Otherwise, if the cameras caught me sneaking into Fu Han's tent at night, I would surely be trending by morning. Fu Han, are you alright? I heard strange noises coming from your tent. It was the voice of Xiaohua Bai Tao. Indeed, she is the most renowned ingenue of the entertainment industry. Just moments ago, during dinner, she was confronted by Fu Han, leaving her eyes glistening with unshed tears, yet in the blink of an eye, she reappears. Expressing concern for him, Fu Han takes a deep breath, striving to steady his breath with a measured tone. It's nothing. I'm merely exercising. Is exercising supposed to create such a commotion? Why don't you open the door and let us take a look?
Bai Tao proceed.
Adamant about not relenting until the door is opened. Everything's fine. It's late, so you should rest early. We have a show to record tomorrow. The esteemed actor Lu Shen quickly intervenes, attempting to diffuse the tension. The other two guests, lacking the clout to provoke Fu Han, breathe a sigh of relief at Lu Shen's suggestion and promptly retreat to their respective tents, pulling Bai Tao along with them. Right, let us get some rest. Sister Bai, we have a program to record tomorrow. Inside my tent, I hear their voices fading into the distance, and I quietly exhale in relief. Suddenly, Bai Tao halts her steps, her sharp voice piercing through the tent and striking at my heart. Where has Song Jie gone? I glanced into her tent just now, and she wasn't inside. Could it be that the sounds from Fu Han's tent are? Everyone gathers once more outside the tent. Lu Shen, usually composed, now exhibits signs of urgency in his tone. Is Song Jie truly inside? Fu Han casts a frustrated glance in my direction, the flush on his face still evident. She's not here. Then where could she be? Shall we search for her together? I shrink back in the tent, only releasing a sigh of relief when Lu Shen and the others move further away. Bai Tao unexpectedly returns with her group. Fu Han, Song Jie, has gone missing. You ought to come out and assist in the search. Given the commotion, I have no justification for remaining hidden any longer. If this continues, none of us shall get any sleep tonight. Fu Han raises an eyebrow, his gaze tinged with amusement. You've initiated this game. Let us see how you extricate yourself from it. Extricate? Perhaps you should be the one concerned now. Can you conceal your tail? Given Fu Han's current state, It seems his serpent tail may not be easily retracted. Reluctantly, I resolve to face the situation. However, to prevent the guests from barging in and discovering Fu Han's true form, I grab a thick blanket and wrap him up snugly. Yet the tail proves obstinate, and no matter how hard I try, the blanket slides off. Can you make it behave? Frustration wells up in me as I smack the end of the serpent tail. Fu Han lets out a muffled groan, blushing as he coils the tip tightly. Don't be so forceful. Then behave yourself. I can't control it. Clearly, one cannot demand too much from a special serpent during such a period. I sigh and rummage through my bag for a long rope, securely binding the serpent tail. With each loop, Fu Han emits a soft whine, his complexion deepening with discomfort. You carry such things with you? One must be cautious when away from home.
Fu Han,
Towering nearly 6 feet 3 inches, possesses broad shoulders, and with his serpent tail approaching 3 meters, it took considerable effort to bind him. After a flurry of activity, I find myself drenched in sweat. Outside the tent, Lu Shun begins to urge. Do you need me to come in and assist? I wipe the sweat from my brow and rise to open the door. Bai Tao is about to burst in when I subtly block her path, her expression shifting to annoyance. Song Jie, what are you doing in Fu Han's tent at this hour? Do you even realize who he is? The cameras, ever eager for drama, are trained on us. Though there were no filming tasks scheduled for the night, the production team caught wind of the spectacle and hastily initiated a live broadcast. Since Bai Tao and her group first knocked on the door, the viewership has surged by millions, showing no signs of abating. The system discreetly informs me that I have already trended on 3 hot search topics, with the comments section universally condemning me. Why sneak into top star Fu's tent at such a late hour? No need to rush into bed, especially on a program. Is there anyone who can provide me with information on Song Jie? I've searched all day with no results. This just proves she is obscure. Hence her audacity to seduce a top star. I'm baffled. I initially had some regard for her when she was feeding Lu Shen, but it seems she is quite promiscuous behind the scenes. No wonder Bai Tao has been casting her disapproving glances. If I were there, I would have slapped her on the spot. Sister Tao is far too patient. The system selects a few comments to relay to me. It seems to expect I would be affected, yet I remain largely unfazed. The reward for taming Lu Shen would suffice for a considerable time, and if I were to also secure the reward for taming Fu Han, I could simply retire after the program ends, returning home to a life of leisure. It's nothing. Fu Han was unwell, and he asked for my assistance. I speak nothing but the truth. Even if the viewers scrutinize the footage for micro-expressions, they would struggle to find fault. I don't believe you. Unless you let us in to see, Bai Tao's disbelief is anticipated. I shift my body, creating a pathway. Go ahead. Bai Tao barges in, her demeanor inexplicably relaxed upon spotting Fu Han lying obediently. I, on the other hand, find her reaction perplexing. To my knowledge, Bai Tao and Fu Han have had little interaction, nor do they engage in any CP-related promotions. Why this sudden concern for him? Is there something I am unaware of? I inquire with the system, which merely shrugs. I have no knowledge. The intricacies of the entertainment industry are beyond my purview. As the farce concludes, I return to my tent alone. Exhausted, I fall into a deep slumber. At dawn, a notification suddenly jolts me awake. 1 million yuan has been deposited into your bank account. I leap from my bed in shock. Is this the reward for successfully taming Fu Han? I can't keep him bound any longer. I dash into Fu Han's tent, intending to release him from his restraints. To my surprise, he appears to have returned to normal, with his serpent tail retracted, lost in thought while holding the rope. You're here? This fellow, who was so irritable last night, is now suddenly shy. Something feels off. I quickly call out to the system. System, what's with Fu Han?
Why has he suddenly submitted to me?
I have no idea. He was like this when I woke up. It's strange.
What did you do to him last night?
Nothing much. No way. I just returned from the gossip online, and Fu Han's studio released a statement overnight, explicitly confirming he is pursuing you, and that it was he who invited you into the tent last night. Given Fu Han's character, his studio would never dare to make such a declaration without his consent. The only explanation is that the statement was issued at Fu Han's behest. Although the program mandates the surrender of electronic devices, regulations are rigid while humans are adaptable. The previous night's debacle was closely tied to Fu Han, and his manager would undoubtedly have convened an emergency meeting to strategize a response and find a way to contact him. But why would Fu Han take such a step? I fall into deep contemplation when suddenly a realization strikes me. I understand now. It must be that last night, he thoroughly enjoyed being bound. Careful, host. Mind your choice of words. It's not what you think. Ugh, the system gives a pointed sound, then suddenly snaps its fingers. By the way, host, I've checked. Fu Han belongs to a rare and noble serpent clan from the Arctic, and no human has ever successfully tamed one. You're simply remarkable. Though the situation is somewhat bewildering, I have nonetheless completed the taming task. Feeling elated, I find Fu Han much more agreeable. I extend my hand towards him. Return the rope to me. Fu Han hesitates, his ears tinged with a shade of crimson as he refuses to hand over the rope. What if I feel unwell again tonight? You may still need to use the rope. Very well. I am quite accommodating. I shall bestow the rope upon Fu Han. After emerging from a tent, I rejoined the guests, at which point the production team issued an urgent announcement. A mysterious flying guest would be joining us to partake in the recording of the remaining segments. Almost immediately, the flying guest made an entrance clad in a windbreaker and sunglasses. Curiosity piqued, I leaned forward, and upon recognizing the individual, I was utterly dumbfounded. Was that not the young master of the Jing Circle, Hu Chuan? It is worth mentioning that Hu Chuan and I share a history of emotional entanglement. During my time in the countryside, I rescued a memory-impaired young beggar named Hu Chuan. Enchanted by his charm, I brought him home, provided him with meals, and ordered him to assist me with farm work, misleading him into believing he was my family's son-in-law and that obedience would ensure his sustenance. Hu Chuan, both naive and compliant, excelled at laboring on the farm. After residing with me for half a year, his physique became more toned, and his skin took on a sun-kissed hue. To seek treatment for Hu Chuan's ailment, I took him to the city for medical attention. The doctor informed me that Hu Chuan had suffered a head injury and required thorough rehabilitation to recover. Lacking sufficient funds, I inadvertently ventured into the entertainment industry to earn the high medical expenses. Although I was a complete nobody, the earnings surpassed what I could make working in the countryside. The company enforced strict confidentiality regarding personal lives, thus I did not disclose to Hu Chuan the nature of my work, merely stating that I was busy with a job that precluded frequent visits, urging him to comply with his treatment. Hu Chuan's rehabilitation proved remarkably effective. Within 2 years, he regained his memory. Subsequently, he abandoned me. Upon returning to my rented accommodation, I found it desolate and cold. Hu Chuan had left me a note along with a bank card, revealing his status as the young master of the Hu family in Jing, expressing his reluctance to have anyone know of our embarrassing past and advising me to take care of myself. I accepted the money, swiftly blocked all means of contacting Hu Chuan, and vacated the premises, resigning myself to a life as an inconspicuous nobody within the industry. Little did I expect to encounter him on a variety show. Hu Chuan averted his gaze from me, and I had no intention of acknowledging him. Coincidentally, the ingredients we had gathered yesterday had long been consumed. We needed to embark anew to procure more supplies. I glanced at Lu Shun, whose forlorn gaze met mine. Wait here, I shall fetch some wild vegetables for you. One must cherish their own domesticated capybara. As I returned to the tent for a basket, I was intercepted by Fu Han, who grasped my wrist. What wild vegetables are you planning to eat, turning your mind green? Come, I shall take you hunting, and whatever you desire, I shall procure for you. As much as I longed for meat, I couldn't ignore Lu Shin, so I reluctantly declined Fu Han's invitation.
That
might not be appropriate? What's inappropriate about it? Must you insist on wild vegetables? It's not that I wish for wild vegetables. Please let go. I attempted to withdraw my wrist, but Fu Han's grip was unyielding. As I raised my gaze, I was met with Hu Chuan's deep, penetrating eyes, and the exuberant chatter of Bai Tao, who was pulling at his arm. Hu Chuan, what prompted you to join the recording? I previously invited you, and you declined. I had heard whispers regarding Bai Tao's background. Rumors suggested she was supported by a mysterious benefactor since her debut, and it was even speculated that her fiancé belonged to a prestigious family in Jing. Observing her familiarity with Hu Chuan now, it was likely he was the rumored fiancé. For reasons unknown, my mood soured. Even Fu Han's excessive enthusiasm failed to stir any excitement within me. Just then, the system unexpectedly flashed, relaying a series of highly rated comments. Song Jie, perish. Supplement face, seducing my dear Gigi. Wow, even top-tier stars are love-struck? Will I be able to date someone like that before I die? Yesterday, Song Jie was still the benevolent grandmother. Today she is transformed into my own goose being pursued by a blonde. Something felt amiss. Hold on. The tone of the comments seems off. The system expressed its exasperation. I too sense that someone is deliberately manipulating the comments.
Who could it be?
My gaze flitted back and forth, landing on Fu Han. Sensing my scrutiny, he tightened his grip on my hand. Come, accompany me on the hunt. Hu Chuan's expression turned frosty as he strode towards me, blocking my path. I fear she must first accompany me to familiarize herself with the surroundings. Fu Han scoffed in dissatisfaction. Do you lack hands and feet that you cannot explore on your own? The system suddenly chimed in, eager to observe. A love triangle?
Let me see how this unfolds.
Stop it. I am experiencing social death here. The atmosphere grew tense. All eyes were on me. Ultimately, it was Bai Tao who stepped forward to alleviate the awkwardness. How about the boys pair up to hunt while the girls fetch water? Our drinking water has run out. That's a splendid suggestion. I concur. With that, I swiftly departed, entirely oblivious to Lu Xin's triumphant smile behind me. Our trio encountered little difficulty in locating a water source. The spring was crystal clear, sweet and refreshing, an ideal drinking water resource. I cleaned the containers I had brought, filled them with water, and ventured nearby to gather a large basket of wild vegetables for Lu Xin. Given Lu Xin's lethargic disposition, he would likely not manage to secure even a legitimate leaf if he accompanied the others. Having packed the wild vegetables, I slung the basket over my shoulder. Just as I prepared to return with the water, I was intercepted by Bai Tao. Song Jie, must you cling to them so? What did she mean by cling? Lu Xin and Fu Han are my beloved pets. Bai Tao's insinuation painted me as a woman of questionable morals. I glanced around. The cameras were fixated on us. Bai Tao seemed intent on provoking me, likely aiming for me to become a target of public outrage. I refused to fall for her ploy. If you possess such prowess, instruct them to disregard me. Now, if you will excuse me, I must return. Song Jie, you are insufferable. I resumed my journey back with the water. Just then, the group of gentlemen returned from their hunt, busily preparing the ingredients. Upon seeing the wild vegetables slung over my shoulder, Lu Xin's eyes lit up with excitement. He strode over, took the water bucket from my grasp, and promptly popped a few leaves into his mouth, munching away. I just caught some fish, and they're being roasted. You must have some to replenish your strength. Watch out for the crocodiles lurking by the river. Don't venture near unless you call for me. Strangely, Lu Xin was unusually loquacious today. A stark contrast to his usual demeanor. I looked up in surprise, only to catch two ominous gazes directed my way. Why does it suddenly feel a bit chilly? After our meal, the weather took an unexpected turn. It appeared a torrential downpour was imminent. Our campsite was situated on flat ground near the riverbank. If the water level rose during the night, we would have no time to escape. After deliberation, we resolved to relocate our camp higher up the slope. There were two adjacent caves halfway up the mountain, providing optimal shelter from the wind and rain. We all worked together to transport our equipment and food to the mountain. Before setting off, I made sure to prepare a large basket of wild vegetables for Lu Xin. Should a sudden downpour occur at night, these wild vegetables would surely suffer. I could not bear to watch Lu Xin go hungry. Lu Xin accepted the basket with satisfaction and, in a seamless motion, took my hand, leading me forward. For reasons unknown, I felt as though I were being closely observed by several piercing gazes from behind, akin to the watchful eyes of a predator, sending chills down my spine. Upon reaching the cave, we settled in, and each cave was soon adorned with a crackling fire. Suddenly, the sky darkened ominously, with thick clouds looming ominously over the mountaintop. Amidst the rumbling thunder and flashes of lightning, a torrential rain began to pour, swiftly turning the path before the cave into a muddy quagmire. Due to the deluge, all surveillance equipment ceased to function. We were fortunate enough to enjoy a leisurely evening. With nothing pressing to occupy our time, we decided to pass the hours playing truth or dare. By a stroke of luck, I was the first to draw the short straw, and I had no choice but to choose truth. Seizing the moment while I was momentarily dazed, Bai Tao swiftly posed her question. Is there someone you like here? What a splendid inquiry. In an instant, all eyes converged upon my face. I contemplated a hasty retreat, but as I stood, Bai Tao grasped my sleeve. Song Jie, it's just a game. Can't you refrain from being a wet blanket? I'm really in a hurry, I insisted. Shall I accompany you? Hu Chun immediately rose, attempting to pull me along, but I deftly evaded him. Bai Tao, witnessing this, pouted in discontent. What business do you have trailing after a girl less private matters? Indeed, it's rather awkward. I'll be quick, there's no need to worry about me. Nevertheless, I shall accompany you. Bai Tao affectionately wrapped her arm around mine, almost dragging me out of the cave. The moment we stepped outside, her expression shifted dramatically. Why didn't you answer the question directly? I simply chose not to. Is it amusing to leave others hanging? They are not your playthings, Song Jie. Bai Tao's attitude was quite perplexing. It seemed she had been particularly fixated on me since the beginning of the game. Initially, I thought her disdain stemmed from her apparent affection for Lu Shen. However, I later realized that after taming Fu Han, her disapproval of me intensified. It was ultimately Hui Chun's appearance that provided her with opportunities to needle me. But what was the underlying cause? Confounded and unwilling to return brimming with questions, I decided to be forthright. If you could simply state whom you like among them, I shall maintain my distance. Bai Tao appeared to be taken aback, stamping her feet in exasperation. You fool. Song Jie is an utter fool. Was this a personal attack? Amidst the thunder and lightning, I witnessed Bai Tao sprouting a pair of fluffy, white ears atop her head. A pure white tail, devoid of any blemish, swayed enthusiastically behind her. Song Jie. You feed Lu Shen wild vegetables, play ball with Fu Han, and now there's inexplicably Hui Chun. Can't you? Bai Tao halted her barrage of questions, her large, glistening eyes now gazing at me with a pitiful expression. Can't you see me? I'm far more obedient. In an instant, Bai Tao transformed into a completely snow-white little fox, leaping into my embrace and nuzzling her head against my chest. She was irresistibly soft and adorable. I couldn't help but gently rub her belly. The little fox emitted a comforting purr, rolling contentedly in my arms. The bank card has received a deposit of 10 million yuan. Wow, host. You are a natural-born nurturer. This is a noble snow fox from the Northern Territories. Inherently proud and aloof, yet she behaves like a kitten in your embrace. I was uncertain why I had succeeded in taming Bai Tao. All I knew was that she was incredibly delightful to pet. I was completely entranced by her soft, velvety body, my fingers weaving through her warm fur. It was immensely healing. Bai Tao was exceptionally well-behaved as the storm began to subside. Suddenly, a low growl from a beast echoed behind me.
Bai Tao instinto tenset?
Her fur bristling as she glared at whatever lurked behind me. Moments later, Fu Han and Hui Chun rushed out of the cave, their gazes fixed intently behind me.
Danger. Run.
Even I, despite my naivety, could sense the imminent threat. We were far from the designated safe zone established by the production team. It was no surprise that peculiar creatures could appear here. A foul breath wafted across my back. Cold sweat trickled down my spine as I attempted to flee, only to be swept off my feet by the force of the creature's presence. The little fox Bai Tao sprang from my arms, extending her claws as she leapt toward the creature's head. Dare to bully Cici? I'll bite you to death. As we tumbled towards the cliff's edge, I instinctively shouted, Tao Tao, be careful. Soon after, I saw Fu Han leap forward to assist. This is it, I thought. Was no one coming to my aid? In the next moment, Hui Chun lunged toward me, enveloping me in his embrace, his massive wolf tail wrapping protectively around us. We rolled down a few times, yet miraculously, I was unharmed. After a moment, Hui Chun shifted, lying beneath me like a sturdy shield, only relaxing once he ensured I was unscathed. I pushed myself up from Hui Chun, accidentally pressing against the tip of his tail. Hui Chun let out a muffled grunt, his face flushing crimson. Cici, don't press there. I gazed at that fluffy tail, feeling somewhat irked. Put your tail away. Hui Chun obediently reverted to his human form, squatting before me. Let us go. I'll carry you back. Recalling the card Hui Chun had given me, I refused without hesitation.
No.
I have self-awareness. How could I dare to have the young master of the Hui family carry me? Hui Chun looked bewildered. Wasn't it always me who carried you? When with Hui Chun, I would trick him into doing farm work while I leisurely snacked on sunflower seeds. After he finished his tasks, I would feign difficulty walking and sweetly request a piggyback ride. Hui Chun would always dutifully crouch down, allowing me to leap onto his back. I had thought those moments were cherished memories, but to Hui Chun, they were likely a source of embarrassment. Now he dared to bring it up? I kicked Hui Chun away, resolved to walk back on my own. Let us not dwell on the past. Let us pretend we never met. Fine. I almost forgot that Hui Chun's most admirable trait was his obedience. I stormed ahead, but after just a few steps, I found myself swept off my feet, cradled in his embrace. Put me down. You taught me that when a wife is angry, she needs a hug to feel better. When did I ever teach you that? It seemed I had indeed imparted such lessons. Previously, I had viewed Hui Chun as a handsome fool, and in my desire for him, I had taught him many things. My head hung low in guilt as I ceased my struggles. Hu Chun's lips curled into a slight smile, his chin brushing against my hair as he began to chatter. That day, when the Hor family took me back, I thought I'd return to find you. But when I got back, you had moved and told me it was over, even blocking me. It was clearly you. His grip tightened around my arm, his warm lips brushing my forehead. The Hor family said you deceived me, that you were using me to make money from wealthy patrons. Otherwise, how could you afford to pay my enormous medical bills? They claimed you were only interested in money, which is why you accepted the Hor family's funds. But I refused to believe it. I searched for you by any means, only to discover that you had earned those medical fees through your own struggles in the entertainment industry. Hu Chun sighed and continued. Cece, I looked for you, but you ignored me, even issuing a statement declaring yourself single and without intentions of dating. Do you know how much that hurt me? You said you didn't want to date, yet you accepted that dead snake's advances. Song Jie, did you ever consider my feelings? Why should I consult you? This was utterly baffling. I am your officially acknowledged husband. Upon returning to the cave, everyone was anxiously awaiting our return. Bai Tao spotted me in Hu Chun's arms from a distance and hurried over, attempting to reclaim me. Tonight, sister is mine. Hu Chun nonchalantly sidestepped. On what grounds? I am her officially acknowledged husband. Hu Chun, after knowing you for so many years, how did I not realize you were this shameless? Hu Chun disdainfully curled his lip, continuing to carry me directly into the cave. Then he was promptly ejected. After all, this was the territory belonging to the girls. Once Hu Chun departed, Bai Tao gleefully nestled into my embrace. Sister, I was utterly terrified just now. Feel my heart and see if it's racing. Another female guest looked on in astonishment, silently tugging at the blanket and retreating a considerable distance. In the ensuing days, our camaraderie flourished harmoniously. Aside from a few small creatures who daily vied for affection and attention, only to be gently rebuffed by Hu Chun on my behalf while I countered his refusals, everything remained tranquil. After the conclusion of the program, my reputation underwent a remarkable transformation. The intricate relationships among myself, the young master Hu Chun, the acclaimed actor Lu Xin, the top-tier celebrity Fu Han, and the blossoming star Bai Tao became a delightful subject of speculation among fans who concocted a veritable mix of CP pairings. Every romantic thread was woven with coherence and charm. Especially between Bai Tao and myself, fans compiled numerous videos showcasing our captivating glances. Bai Tao was absolutely thrilled, personally engaging in the likes and shares of these videos, inciting a collective celebration among fans. In contrast, Hu Chun expressed considerable discontent, repeatedly insisting that I sever ties with Bai Tao. Yet, Bai Tao had purchased a villa and insisted I move in with her. Sister, that nasty wolf is so fierce. Unlike me, who merely wishes to snuggle with you, I couldn't resist ruffling the proud fox's ears. After all, who could turn down a sweet and soft little fox? My agent, Sister Wu, urged me to capitalize on my momentum and cultivate a persona as a beloved pet owner, a proposition I declined. Being a celebrity is exhausting, and I preferred the simplicity of returning to the mountains to enlist Hu Chun in labor, which brought me far greater joy. In the mountains, I established a manor and even fenced off a plot to raise an array of peculiar animals. Creatures from the entire back mountain would come to frolic in my backyard. During my leisure, I would host live streams to share my animal training schedule with fans. After some commotion with the Hor family, Hu Chun insisted on residing with me, ultimately compelling his family to acquiesce. For this, I was indebted to Bai Tao's assistance.
Bai Tao,
who had grown up alongside Hu Chun and was bound by a marriage contract, found her family's displeasure at Hu Chun's unilateral decision to break off the engagement palpable, as they sought to make my life difficult. Nevertheless, whenever she had the time, Bai Tao would come to the manor to stay with me. The Bai family, witnessing their only daughter veering off course, eagerly desired my union with Hu Chun, even presenting a grand gift to bless our relationship. I accepted the gift and turned to embrace the transformed little fox, inhaling its sweet fragrance. The esteemed actor Lu Xin also frequented the manor whenever he wasn't filming. He preferred solitude, often found lounging on a deck chair beneath an umbrella, savoring the gentle breeze and indulging in a few crisp vegetable leaves, declaring them the sweetest he had ever tasted. My animal training skills garnered unanimous acclaim, and I blossomed into a prominent internet celebrity with millions of followers. Each live stream attracted throngs of viewers, with many fans showering me with compliments in the comment section. Sister, I declare you my sole connection in the entertainment industry. So many big names willingly serve as Song Jie's pets. I want that too. I'm super obedient and can even do backflips. Look at me, sister. You all wish to be Song Jie's pets, but I'm different. I want to be her offspring, hoping she'll feed me. Furrowing my brows at the comments, I turned to the smug Hui-chun beside me. Are you manipulating the reviews again? This time it's not me. That was a relief. I took out my phone to respond uniformly. Form an orderly queue, one at a time. The system protested. Master, don't forget about me. I want to cut in. The young master Hui-chun, wagging his fluffy tail, momentarily lost his composure. Didn't he say I was your only darling? Upon Fu Han's return from his concert tour, his first act was to corner me in my room, presenting a rope and imploring me to train him around the clock. Sister, you've spent 4 months with them. It's my turn now. I accepted the rope, grinning from ear to ear. All right, it's your turn soon. Just as I lifted the rope, Hui-chun stormed in, indignant. I want to play too. No, you scoundrel. Take your pathetic rope and play by yourself. Hui-chun, with his wolf tail swaying and ears tinted with a touch of red, thrust a whip into my hands.
Wife.
The whip is far more entertaining than the rope. The end of the text. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give a thumbs up to support.
Until we meet again in the next story.